Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to be smell detectives and solve a really cool science mystery. And guess what? We're going to use something you have with you every single day, your nose, to crack this case.
So, here's the main question for today. Can things from your kitchen actually change their smell when you mix them with an acid or a base? Sounds interesting, right? Let's dive right in and find out. Now, to solve any mystery, you need a team. So we have 3 special detectives right from our kitchen, and they're going to help us identify 2 suspects from the chemistry lab. Okay, so who are our detectives? We've got finely chopped onion, some vanilla essence, and a bit of clove oil. Simple stuff, right? And our suspects? Well, they are an acid, that's dilute HCl, and a base, which is dilute NaOH. Our mission is to use the smells of our detectives to figure out which test tube has the acid and which one has the base.
All right, let's start with our first detective, the onion. Let's see how this strong-smelling vegetable is going to give us our very first clue.
The process is actually really simple. First, you just seal some cloth strips with chopped onions overnight. This makes the cloth smell like onion. Then we take these strips and test them with our 2 suspects, the acid and the base. After a quick wash, we just need to check if the smell is still there. Easy. And here are the results. Look at this. When we add the acid, the onion smell is still there, no problem. But when we add the base, the smell just disappears completely. Wow, this is a huge clue for us. Okay, time to bring in our next detectives, vanilla and clove oil. Are they going to give us the same clue or something different? We need to look for a pattern here. So we repeat the whole thing, but this time with vanilla essence. And would you look at that? We add the acid, and that nice sweet smell of vanilla is still there. But when we add the base, poof, the smell is gone. The pattern is exactly the same. And here we go again. We do the test one last time with clove oil. In the acid, that strong, distinct smell is still there. But in the base, it just vanishes. So the pattern is confirmed. No doubt about it. So we have a very clear pattern, right? In acid, the smell stays. In a base, the smell goes away. So what's happening here? Well, the base is causing a chemical reaction that destroys the smell. So what is the science name for these amazing smell detectives?
The proper scientific term is an olfactory indicator. Now, it sounds very complicated, but it's super simple. Olfactory is just a fancy science word for anything related to our sense of smell. So, an olfactory indicator is basically a substance whose smell changes in an acid or a base. That's it.
So, this is the main point you need to remember. Our 3 detectives, onion, vanilla, and clove oil, are all fantastic examples of olfactory indicators. They use their smell to tell us if something is an acid or a base. This whole experiment teaches us one simple rule that is super important, especially for your exams. So let's lock in on the key takeaway. This summary table here, this is your best friend for revision. It shows the most important observation all in one place. For all 3 of our indicators, the smell is present in acid, but it disappears in the base. It's that consistent every single time. If you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this golden line. The change in smell, specifically the smell disappearing, is how we can identify a base. Okay, so it's great to understand the science, but the big question is, how do you write this perfectly in your exam to get those full marks? Let's break it down. Now, to score well, you have to avoid these very common mistakes. So many students forget which one, the acid or the base, makes the smell disappear. They mix up the results, they don't write a clear conclusion, and worst of all, they forget to use that key scientific term, olfactory indicator. So here are your tips for success. Number 1, always present your observations in a neat table, just like we saw. Number 2, always use the term olfactory indicator. Then, state your conclusion clearly, and finally, give all 3 examples, onion, vanilla, and clove oil, to show that you've understood the concept completely. And there you have it. Now you know exactly how these smell detectives work. It's a simple and interesting activity for your exams. So I'll leave you with a final thought. What other things in your kitchen do you think could also be olfactory indicators? Have a think about it. Thanks for joining us.